Bunga 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 bunga.
Bonga 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 bonga. Bonga 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 bonga. Hi there, you're listening to episode 30 of Podemup. In the book club this month, they're cute, they're quirky, and by all accounts they're pretty tasty. We're talking about Bugsnax. Plus, we react to the first major Nintendo Direct in over a year, and unreleased versions of GoldenEye and Dinosaur Planet have been, released. Keep it here on Podemup. Hello, welcome back to Podemup. It's episode 30, no less. The big 3-0 tips.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. No longer in our 20s. Yeah, we might be thinking about settling down with another podcast. Maybe make some little podcast babies. Who knows? You know.
I'm not even sure how that would work.
Well, my name is Ollie. The other man you just heard there is Tibbs.
Yes, I am Tibbs.
And we produce a podcast called Podemup, in case you hadn't realised.
And you're listening to it now.
Which you're listening to now. Yeah, I've got Bugsnax in the box of fun today.
Yeah, talking about Bugsnax.
Talking Bugsnax. But before we do that, we're going to be talking about what we've been playing. And what have you been playing, Tibbs?
I've been playing Heavenly Sword.
Okay, I know the name.
I think it was a launch title for the PS3. It's like a sort of a hack and slash game. I keep wanting to say the name in like a Yorkshire accent for some reason, or like a Newcastle accent, something like that, like Heavenly Third. Heavenly Third. I don't know why. It just it just sounds natural.
Well, feel free. I mean, that's fine.
I got me Heavenly Sword. But yeah, I can't say much about it really. It's okay. It's okay. It's a bit easy. I've died twice in the game so far, and both times has been at the final boss. So
right, okay. Well, that's quite good.
Yeah.
It's a bit too easy, yeah.
I was going to say, it's not due to any skill on my part, I have to say. It's just, but I played it on normal mode. Maybe if you crank up the difficulty a bit, it's a bit harder. But,
yeah.
It's entertaining enough, just your standard sort of hack and slash, groups of enemies come at you, you hit them with the Heavenly Sword, and then, they die. And rinse and repeat. The guy comes at the end, he sort of merges with a raven, and then you've got to beat him, but he's quite difficult. It's alright, buy it for $5. I have also been playing... What have I been playing? What did I play? I played a bit more Dead Rising.
Oh, yeah.
I decided it didn't really click with me. Okay. I can see the appeal of it. I put in a fair few hours into it. I think it's just a thing with me. I don't like being forced to repeat bits in games.
Yeah.
You know, if you have to repeat the same bit too many times, it kind of loses its appeal a little bit.
Sure.
And one of the mechanics in Dead Rising is when you die, you can either go back to a previous save point, and there are only a few save points around the stage. You can't save wherever you want.
Yeah.
So there's a fair chance that you'll lose a big chunk of gameplay because you haven't saved in, say, an hour. So you might lose an hour's gameplay if you're not careful. Or you can start from the beginning of the game again, but you keep all your levels and upgrades and everything that you've unlocked up to that point. And the main progression seems to be that you build up your levels. You have to restart the game a few times to really build up your level, before you can get to the, tackle some of the harder bosses and things. And I'm not really into the constantly restarting it, not constantly, but regularly restarting the game from scratch, just keeping the level. Because you see the same cutscenes again and the same bosses again, and, I can see the appeal, I can see where it's going, and I can see why people like it, but I'm not sure it's a game that I'm going to put too much time into. I'll put it back on the back burner for now.
It also sounds like a bit kind of like lazy game design in a way, doesn't it? Because it's like, I mean, I don't know how big the game is, but
it's quite big.
Okay, fair enough.
It's quite big. But there's a lot to do in it. There's a lot to explore, and there's things like that. It's quite cheap in sections, though, I will say, because there's early on in the game, you have to go, there's one of the first, I think it might be the first boss character that you face. You cut across this main courtyard that connects the two parts of the mall that the whole game takes place in. When you beat the boss, shortly after that, you come out into that courtyard again, and there's a group of characters who are driving around in this like a jeep killing zombies, but they'll also attack you. They're just sort of, they're just baddies. But they're really overpowered compared to you at that point in the game, and it seems that the only reason they're there is to stop you shortcutting through the courtyard, is to force you to go through the whole mall to get back to that point. Right. That seems to be what it's for, and it just feels a little bit like, okay. But yeah, it's not. I can't say it's a bad game. It's just not for me, I don't think. But I'm glad I gave it another shot. I'm glad I put a lot more time into it than I did the first time I played it. So I think I've got a better handle on what it's all about and what it's trying to do. So cool. Yeah, but it's just not for me. Right. And there's one more game that I've been playing, but I don't know if I want to say too much about it, because I might want to cover it as a pick later on. Okay. It's a game called Poiny's Point on PlayStation 2.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Nah, it's odd. I'll leave it in case we cover it in a book club.
Yeah,
pick.
Do. What? How did you get on with? I've forgotten his name now. The SNES one that we were talking about last time.
Front Mission,
yeah.
But it went on a bit of a back burner because
okay.
I spent the majority of the time I spent playing Bugsnax.
Yeah, me too.
And then when I finished Bugsnax, I kind of, I put Front Mission on the back burner. So I will aim to pick that up again soon, but I don't... I was thinking of picking up Bravely Default 2, which has just come out on Nintendo, because that looks like a nice RPG. Bravely Default started as a spin-off of Final Fantasy, so it sounds like something that's going to be up my alley. So I might be tempted to pick that up, and that's going to, push Front Mission to the back mission.
To the back, yeah.
Oh. But yeah, I will definitely return to it because I like robots.
Yeah, fair enough. The only thing I've been playing other than Bugsnax is a demo. It's just it's Balan Wonderworld.
I never got round to playing it.
Yeah, I mean it's been getting a right kicking from everyone, left, right, and centre, and I really don't know why. I really like it personally.
I watched there's a YouTuber, Mad Little Pixel, and he was doing a stream of it. I think it was the evening it came out or the day after it came out. Yeah. And I watched a bit of that while I was doing other things. I didn't really understand what was going on. It looked like mechanic-wise, it looked quite good, but
Yeah.
there's like dancing NPCs, and every time he went towards them, they sort of just disappeared.
Well, it's a kind of like Knights in that it's kind of set in a dream kind of world or sort of imaginary world. So these characters are kind of there, and it is a bit odd how they sort of disappear in and out. There's not really any rhyme or reason for it, to be honest, but it's just one of those. It's quite a sort of weird game in that sense.
Yeah.
But it's if you don't know, but it's Yuji Naka and Naoto Oshima who co-created Sonic and Knights. Their first game working together for about 25 years, I think. So it's kind of a big deal, I guess. But it looks like Knights. It's even got a character that's very similar to Knights, but the actual gameplay is completely different. It's just mechanically it's a standard kind of 3D platformer. But although it's sort of arranged like a bit like Sonic, so you've got 2 acts and a boss, and they're sort of fairly linear levels. It's kind of like Mario Odyssey, like a collectathon kind of thing, where you've got to go around finding these statues that are hidden in each of the levels. And that's the way you sort of progress through the game and indeed through the demo. Because there's 4 levels in the demo, but you'll play the first 2, and this is the problem because it doesn't really signpost very clearly that you have to go back and find these statues in order to get 2 more levels, and that's kind of the point of it. So I think I kind of feel like that must be where people are falling down on it, because they sort of run through, and it's a fairly standard, simple 3D platformer, and I don't know. I guess maybe they think, what's the big deal? But the real joy of it is trying to, because you've got these different costumes throughout the thing. So I think it's about 100 in the game, and each one gives you a different ability, like hovering higher, further, get a little kind of clock wheel thing that opens doors, punching, that kind of thing. And so you use them to sort of track down these statues, and the more you get, the more levels you can unlock and that kind of thing. So I think it's really nice. I think it's a really sweet little game. You know, it's I could pick faults with it if I had to, but I think, I think it's quite nice. It kind of reminds me of Sonic Team when they don't do Sonic,
Yeah, it is the art style and everything like that. It does strike me as very sort of non-Sonic Team Sonic. I'm not saying it looks like Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg, but it's got that kind of, I don't know. It reminds me of that atmosphere, that style, that character style.
Mechanically, it does kind of feel very similar to Billy Hatcher.
Okay.
Visually, it's very Knights. The kind of the worlds, the way it's all kind of. It doesn't have to make sense. Do you know what I mean? Like the first level is it's like a farm, but it's all stuff that's floating in the air. You've got these giant fields, giant sweet corn and stuff like that. And then later on, you've got a level that's kind of like a library mixed with like a clockwork kind of setting. And there's some really nice looking levels in the trailer. So I don't really get what people's beef with is, to be honest. And the sort of the outpouring of rage against it just seems to be a bit unfounded. I don't know.
I think, I don't want to get anyone's backs up, but I mean, I think there are certain corners of the internet where it's just, I don't know, I think people are really being negative about games is kind of currency to them. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's like,
I think it's snowballed a bit.
Yeah, because I mean, even like Heavenly Sword, I was looking at that because like I say, the final boss is a massive difficulty spike compared to the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So I just did a quick Google to see what other people were thinking, and there were threads, talking about it, and people were like, "Oh, I can't believe you played that rubbish. Oh, I can't. That game was dreadful. Oh, I rented it and took it straight back. Oh," and it's like, it's not that bad.
No.
Do you know what I mean? To read people describing it, you'd think it's the worst game ever made, and it's really not.
Well, that's the thing. On this podcast, we're generally quite positive, I think.
We try to be, I think.
We look at games fairly. I mean, we won't be afraid to pick faults with them. But even, games that... I mean, there's been a couple of games that I don't like as much as you do. But even then, we kind of, try and look at it fairly and don't just say, it's a piece of crap or whatever. It's just... and I don't... it is a big thing these days to just mock games that aren't. I mean, it always seems like games are either amazing or terrible, and there's nothing in between, And
Exactly.
I just can't stand that kind of view. It's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it is. I think you miss out on so much if you've got that kind of view as well.
Yeah.
It's okay for a game to just be good. It's okay for a game to just be fun.
Hmm.
Sometimes the mechanics don't really work properly, and but you can still have fun with it.
Absolutely.
And I think people are too quick to sort of jump on the hate train, I think. But
definitely, yeah. I mean, I would say that I tried the Switch version, the PS4 version on my PS4 Slim, and the PC one. The Switch, they do need to improve, I think, because
I've heard that
the frame rate's very poor. The resolution seems to be pretty poor. PS4 on the Slim is better, smoother, but still a bit jaggedy and a bit kind of not quite right. So I'm going to go for the PC version because I am going to buy it, definitely. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, people are saying the camera's bad. There's nothing wrong with the camera. It's perfectly fine.
I know.
Nothing wrong at all.
Yeah.
So there's that, really. That's all I've been playing, other than Bugsnax, because it's I've been quite busy, and it's been a fairly longish game. So
Yeah, I mean, I finished it a couple of weeks ago. I played through it fairly quickly, I think. But there's a lot to do in it. There's it is. Well, we'll discuss it when we get to it, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah.
News. So before we do that, is there any news to cover?
Oh, is there ever news? GoldenEye?
Yes, this was the 360 version.
Yeah.
Talking about? Yes, I did hear about this. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it's leaked. It's out
leaked.
there.
Is it out now? I'd heard about it. Oh, right, okay. I'd heard about... I'm trying to think now. I'd heard that someone discovered it. It's just an HD... Is it a remaster?
Yeah, it's a remaster, basically. It's a really nice remaster as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, I think it's been knocking about... It's been known that there's a copy out there for a while because it was available on the Xbox. Is it DevNet, whatever they used to call it, where if you had a development kit, it just hooked up to like an alternate Xbox Live, and it was just full of like demos and full versions of games and things that people were working on. So, press and other developers could all have a go at whatever was being cooked up in the...
That sounds brilliant, doesn't it? If you could get access
exactly.
To that, it's like a treasure trove, isn't it?
Yeah, but apparently what was happening, I can't remember where I heard this. I think it might be Modern Vintage Gamer, another good YouTube channel. I keep name dropping YouTube channels, but they're good guys. You should check them out.
Perhaps we should have a segment like Tibbs's YouTube recommendations every month.
Should. Yeah, we should, because there's some good channels out there.
Yeah.
But he was saying that it got there was a huge demand for dev kit Xboxes, so people could get access to the developer network and sample these games, to the point where people were even going into landfills and tips to pull out old motherboards and sort of hack together a dev kit, to try and access these things. And that's where this leak came from. Apparently, it was a version that was on the development now. It was only on for like a day, I think.
Yeah.
But someone managed to nab it, and all these years later, it's finally come out in a playable form for the rest of us.
So, what can you play it on? How do you play it?
You can play it if you've got a hacked or glitched Xbox. So you need to have a reset glitch hack on your Xbox, so you can play unsigned code. It also runs on the PC on an emulator.
Okay. Yeah, there's a 360 emulator, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Xenia,
yeah,
I think it's called.
Yeah.
Apparently it runs fine in Xenia, so
I'll give that a go, yeah.
It's worth giving a go. It's got the... if you ever played the Halo... or Halo 2 remasters, it's got that thing where you can press a button and toggle between the new graphics and the old graphics.
That sounds amazing. So
it's really good.
So why didn't they... I'm guessing licensing is the answer. Why didn't they release this? Yeah.
Yeah, it's licensing. There's so many things involved in it. Like for the...
I've heard GoldenEye is a tricky one, because you've got Rare, you've got the people who own 007.
I was going to say you like MGM,
Yeah.
and you know,
it's a big mess, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's all the likenesses for the actors in the films.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
there's so much involved in it. It's just I don't think it's ever going to get. You know, it would have never seen the light of day if it weren't for being released.
No. Yeah. Well, it's amazing they even started on it in the first place. Anyway, really, isn't it? Because obviously they thought that they could get it when they started it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they must have thought it was a possibility because it's a really polished. It's a really polished product. It's not.
So it's fully complete. It's not like a beta.
I haven't played it to completion, but I think it's technically a beta. But I think it's very, very complete as far as I know.
I'll definitely check that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the original with my N64. It's I loved it. It's brilliant game.
Yeah, when you first boot the game, it comes up where the Nintendo screen would have been. There's just a little message from one of the developers that says, "Do you really expect me to remove this Nintendo screen? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die," which I thought was quite good. But yeah, did you see the other big rare leak?
Oh yeah, Dinosaur Planet.
Dinosaur Planet.
Yeah, I love Star Fox Adventures. I still haven't completed it. I bought it, I think, about 5 years ago, and I haven't played. I must admit, I haven't played it in at least a year. But I was working through it very, very slowly, playing it like once a month or something for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, it's a great little sort of quite Zelda-ish kind of game. If you can get over the fact that you're not flying around as Fox, you know. It's good.
I think that's the source of a lot of people's disappointment with it, because when you attach the name Star Fox to it, and there's an expectation of what the game's going to be, and it wasn't that at all.
No, but if you can get past that and accept it as a kind of a Zelda-like adventure, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
But it was originally going to, before they attached Star Fox to it, it was originally going to be just a separate kind of its own IP, wasn't it, on the N64?
Yeah. I haven't played much of it, I've got to say.
No, I haven't.
And it doesn't run. It runs on emulators, but there's a few graphical glitches and things like that. And I tried it on my laptop, which isn't, because I don't have a gaming PC. I just got the laptop, and it's not really built for playing games on. So I don't know how much of the trouble I had was just down to inadequate hardware. But apparently the best way to play it is on an actual N64 using a flash card or something. And in which case, apparently it just runs, perfect. It's again, as far as I know, it's complete.
Is it? Oh, well, I thought it was just an early version, so it's a complete game that they then.
As far as I know, don't quote me on it, but as far as I know, it's very highly complete. It's almost a finished product.
Oh right, I didn't know. I had no idea they got that far with it. I thought they'd started it to some extent, and then Nintendo asked them to put Star Fox in.
I'm going to check on this. Through the course of the show, I'm going to see if I can find out, just so we don't give anyone the wrong information, because that's not what we're about at all.
No, of course not. Because obviously they moved it from the N64 to the GameCube.
Yeah.
I think it was a GameCube launch title, wasn't it?
I think
very
it was,
early
actually.
One, anyway.
Very
it's
early
on the box, on my GameCube box, so that suggests it was in the original lineup.
Planet. Yeah, I'll look into this, and we'll do a follow up later on. But yeah, so it's good, because I love to see, it's a shame to know that these things are just locked away on a machine somewhere, never to be played.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that all these things have been discovered. We were talking about the Sonic 1 prototype last month.
Exactly, yeah.
It's amazing that these things get discovered, and then you think how many more things out there that haven't been and probably never will be unearthed, just complete games that are just there but that were never released for whatever reason.
Yeah, and it's there's so many. I'm struggling to think of an example of that, but I know I've heard Superman 64 is another one. I mean, it's not a particularly well-regarded game, but fairly recently, the complete PlayStation.
That's right,
was
I heard
leaked.
that.
So there's so many things out there that are just complete and sat on there.
Lots of Dreamcast ones have been, because obviously towards the end of the Dreamcast life, people were sort of abandoning it, and they'd already built like almost complete games and versions of other games for it that they unearth on quite a regular basis, actually.
Well, I think it's a tragedy for the Dreamcast that the game Propeller Arena. It's such a good game. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I played
It's
it
a
a little
really
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so addictive. It's a really good game, and it just never released.
Yeah.
Just
It was partly a coincidental 9/11 thing, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
And then it just kind of faded away after that, I think, didn't it?
Yeah, I think the Dreamcast didn't survive much past that. Had the Dreamcast had a different, took a different course in history, then it might have just been delayed and come out later. But yeah, but I just wonder what other games are out there waiting to be released. There was like a Sonic skateboarding game that was found on an old Xbox dev kit as well.
Yeah, it was like a Tony Hawk style thing, just with Sonic. Yeah.
So I love this stuff. Just even if they didn't turn into like full games, it's just get a little insight into what people have been working on. It's
lovely,
fascinating. Yeah.
Did you catch the Nintendo Direct?
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't miss much, to be honest. I was very disappointed by it. Given that we haven't had a proper one for like over a year because of COVID stuff and everything, even though that obviously the COVID thing set them back on their development stuff, I was expecting to see a lot more, especially from Nintendo themselves.
Yeah.
Because
I think I lost a little bit of interest when they said it was going to be focused mainly on Smash.
Did they say that? Because they had a Smash thing at the beginning, but that was it. That was only like 5 minutes.
Oh, was it only like 5 minutes? So, yeah, I'm sure I remember seeing someone who's going to be a big focus on Smash Brothers, and I was like,
yeah,
okay.
I know. There's a new character, I think, from
Xenoblade,
yeah.
Which everyone's offended by now, apparently.
What, the game?
Xenoblade Chronicles? No, the characters,
because
right. they're overtly sexualized or something.
They are a bit, but then that's kind of what Japan does. That's, to be fair, a lot of the time. But that's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, so we got Skyward Sword, which, to be fair, is my least favourite of the Zeldas I've played. It's all right, but it's not great. And Splatoon 3.
Yeah, in 2022.
Yeah, exactly. It's not coming out this year. I wanted to see at least something from the Breath of the Wild sequel, Metroid Prime 4, something like that. Something they haven't even teased at all yet. I mean,
I did see the video clip of the guy from the Legend of Zelda coming on screen saying, "We know you're all excited about Legend of Zelda. Well, we got nothing to say." Oh, okay.
I mean, to be fair, I'd rather they do that than just like pretend they hadn't mentioned it already. And just leave it. At least they acknowledge that that's what we really want to see. But yeah, instead have this other game that we made 10 years ago.
Yeah, for 60 quid.
Yeah, for 60 quid. But yeah, I mean, I'm getting more and more frustrated with Nintendo because they seem to be very lazy these days, in my opinion. I'm going to go back to the Wii U thing, but the Wii U, because it had so little third-party developer support, they had to be on their A game and keep coming out with games. And I feel like because the Switch is so well supported and so popular, I feel like they're not even really bothering that much. Would you agree, or would you?
In terms of first-party titles, I mean, it's been a little bit lackluster.
I think a lot of it's been Wii U ports. It's been to fairly obvious sequels to recent things. There's not been anything that new and that exciting for me, anyway, personally.
I kind of get the porting of the Wii U games because I doubt they recoup their development costs on a lot of those just because of the how few people had a Wii U. So I can understand them thinking, right, let's capitalize on this and we can get the money back on these games that we developed. But I mean, it has been a while since
this is my point.
Mario Odyssey, for instance.
Yeah, and that for me is the only significant new Nintendo game that I've really enjoyed, not counting Breath of the Wild because that was on the Wii U as well. Everything else, there's been good stuff. There's been some nice things here and there, but nothing. If it went for Mario Odyssey, I may not even have a Switch, to be honest, because I just wouldn't have seen much of a reason for it, especially with my eyes, and I can't use it portably anyway. There's not much of a draw for me personally. So I'm just still waiting for just these big, nice, awesome Nintendo games. I know they're coming. They've teased the couple that I've just mentioned that I'm really excited about. But I'm just getting a bit impatient, to be honest.
I'm excited about Splatoon 3.
Yeah, sure.
But I really hope that they do some anti-cheat.
Yeah, you said before the 2 is completely broken.
It completely broke 2 for me, and I just stopped playing it in the end because it's just, I don't mind losing if it's a fair fight.
Of course, well, yeah, but
because it's Splatoon, you can't really, it's a daft fun game.
Sure.
But then when you've got people literally teleporting across the map from one end to the other and back again and things like that, you just think, well, there's no point playing.
How are they actually doing it? Because I don't really get how they're able to.
They just got hacked Nintendo Switches.
Right, so they can.
Once you got the as I understand it, if you've hacked your Nintendo Switch and you're able to access the files of the game, you can modify the save files and the config files of the game, so you can set the character's movement speed to like 3 times what it should be, or you can set the weapon fire rate and the reload rate and all that kind of stuff. You can basically break the balancing of the game completely.
Yeah. But what's the point? What does that get you? It doesn't get you fun, does it? Because it's just too easy. I mean, what would you get out of it? I don't get it. It's weird.
That's a question I've had going back to like way back when I used to play Unreal Tournament online, and I first found out about aimbots and people using aimbots in games. I don't get it. I don't get, like, if you're playing Unreal Tournament, just like an arena shooter, I think they'd call it these days. Old man. If you just click a button and it gets a headshot every time, is that fun?
It's not. Yeah. How many times can you press that button and it still be fun? Yeah. It's weird, isn't it?
I don't get it. I don't understand it. But I don't know. I mean, Switches now are, as far as I'm aware, currently unhackable. It's only the old ones.
The new ones that they came out, new ones, a year or so ago, didn't they? And okay.
Which I think is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it will make it harder for people to cheat, but on the other hand, I'm all in favour of being able to run homebrew and unsigned code on consoles, because I think it's just it is such a huge outlet for creativity and for the homebrew scene to come out with some amazing things. So,
Yes.
but the first Splatoon and Splatoon 2 apparently at launch didn't have any anti-cheat capability at all. Didn't even check, because you could check the hashes of the main config files to see if they've been modified or anything like that.
Yeah.
Nothing of the sort. There's literally nothing.
Right. So they weren't prepared for that. So hopefully they'll be aware of all this going on. And
I really hope so.
You would think so, wouldn't you? Yeah.
I was a bit underwhelmed by the trailer though. It was like 4 minutes long. 2 minutes of it was, a character customization, and the rest was someone sat on a train.
Yeah.
And that was it. So.
Yes, that's right. Yes, it was.
If you're new to Splatoon, like, say you've got someone who's really into it, like, you've got to play Splatoon, and then. You've never played it, and you see the trailer on YouTube, you think, oh, that's that game they're always on about. I'll have a watch of this. You'd be like...
What? Have I missed something? Yeah. Train and dress-up simulator, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm glad it's getting a sequel. I'd be surprised if it didn't. But... Yes,
I'm glad that it's still carrying on as a standard IP for them at the moment, yeah.
There's some more Pokemon games coming out?
There are, yeah. I did catch a little bit of that. It's there's a new... It's like an open world kind of one, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a new open world kind of one, and then there's a remake of... Is it Gold and Silver?
I thought it was Gold and Silver. I think they've jumped to Diamond and Pearl, which is fourth generation, is it?
I think so. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah, I think they've done a Let's Go style game, but for Diamond and Pearl. Which seems a bit weird. You'd do Gold and Silver next, wouldn't you? But
I'd have thought so, but...
Okay, whatever. That's all good. I might be more into the open world one, to be honest, because I kind of gave up with what's it called, Sword and Shield, just because it was just the same thing, basically.
I know. I love Pokemon. I've said before, I really enjoy the Pokemon series, but
it's just the same thing. It's just a run through of different gyms, fighting different people, and then being the best there ever was, or whatever the lyric is.
Yeah.
I mean, I was bored. I got bored of it because I wanted something that's maybe has a story to it that happens to involve Pokemon rather than being about just beating everyone. So maybe that's what this will be. I don't know.
And I mean, I'm not a game developer, but I can't imagine it would be that difficult to sort of mix up the Pokemon formula a bit. Just make it a bit, just change the formula so it's not just a reskin of the previous games, but still keep that core battle mechanics and the catching.
The actual battle mechanics and stuff is still really fun.
I don't think it doesn't seem like it would be that difficult to just expand it a bit rather than just retreading the same stuff.
Yeah,
but...
I mean, well, I'll keep an eye on the open world one because that sounds like it might do it. I don't know.
I'm slightly aware that we started the show saying how positive we were.
I know we've just been really negative on everything the last 20-30 minutes, haven't we?
Part one of the show is like, all those people are always negative for no reason, and then the next part of the show is, Nintendo suck.
We are very down on Nintendo in the last few months, aren't we? Like almost every month we say something horrible about them, don't we?
It's because we love them.
Yeah, we do. We love them. We want them to do good things and stop pissing people off, basically.
Yeah.
But they need to.
A new Mario game would be nice.
Sure, yeah.
A new Mario game, something,
Well, they did give us an old Mario game, but with a new thing in it, didn't we? Which I haven't played yet. The 3D World, is it?
Yeah.
With Bowser's Fury.
Yeah, I haven't. I've played 3. That's a Wii port.
It's a Wii U port, yeah. And I loved it. It's great.
Because I played it on the Wii U. I've not played the new one. I don't know much about the Bowser's Fury.
No, it looks very different. It looks like there might be some reasonable substance to it. I don't know how long it is. But yeah.
I don't know if I'm quite ready to drop £50 on a game I've already played on the Wii U.
Yeah, and then have a bit of another one. There can't really be a full game in itself. I wouldn't have thought.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
No. Anyway, that's that.
Come on, there's got to be something positive in the news. Come on.
What was the other thing? I think there was another thing that I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember what it was now.
I'm just going to go to a game site and I'm going to find
find the first positive piece of news you can, and we'll discuss it.
Okay, here we go. Positive news. How one of the worst video game movies of all time got made? No.
That's a good start.
Stadia blew millions on Red Dead Redemption 2 and other ports? No. Pikachu gets more powerful the more it sleeps.
Oh, there you go. That's quite positive.
Yeah.
Positive note to end on.
Perfect.
Okay. Should we crack on?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Bugsnax is the name.
Talk about
Bugsnax. We're going to do that after this break.
Is this the break?
This is the break, yeah.
Okay.
You're ruining it. Stop talking.
Video Game Book Club.
Welcome back. This month we're talking about Bugsnax, which is a game developed and published by Young Horses, which are the makers of Octodad.
Nobody suspects a thing.
No. Is that an Octodad? I haven't actually played Octodad. Is that a... Sorry.
Octodad. Nobody suspects a thing.
I've seen it be played. When it came out in the office, one of the guys played it, and it looked quite funny, but I never actually got around to it myself.
Oh yeah, it's just a great little theme tune to go with the thing, just like this game has a great.
Yes, it does. I was just listening to that while I was waiting for you to log on earlier, and it's a lovely little theme, isn't it? Mm.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So tell us about Bugsnax.
Yeah, well, it came out in November 2020, so it's a pretty recent one for PS4, PS5, and Windows and OS X via the Epic Games Store. So it's a first-person game that kind of blends various genres and ideas. It doesn't really fit into a category. So it's kind of an RPG, kind of a thing. I don't know. Could you put it in a box? Do you think?
I don't know. It's kind of. It's a mix of everything, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of a puzzle game.
There's sort of first-person puzzle-solving, shooty. Not Metroidvania, but backtracking
a little
to
bit
unlock
like that.
New areas.
It's a bit Pokemon-y, so definitely.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's definitely a Pokemon slant to it.
Yeah, so it stars, other than the Bugsnax themselves, which we'll get to in a second, it stars these fuzzy characters called Grumpuses, and the sort of the wild half bug, half snack creatures that inhabit. What's it called? Snacktooth Island, isn't it?
Snacktooth Island.
Yeah, so players control a nameless newspaper journalist who travels to Snacktooth Island on the request of explorer Elizabeth Megafin, who is already... Megafig. Is it Megafig or Megafin?
Megafig.
I thought it was Megafin. Where have I got Megafin from?
I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Sorry about that. She's already brought with her like an assortment of fellow Grumpuses to learn more about the local wildlife, the Bugsnax. When the Grumpuses eat the creatures, selected parts of their body actually turn into what they've eaten. So when the player arrives on the island, he finds that Elizabeth has gone missing and all the other Grumpuses have scattered across the island for their own reasons, leaving Elizabeth's assistant Filbo Fiddlepie as mayor and sole inhabitant of Snacksburg, which is their settlement. Filbo asks that you help him round up all the other Grumpuses to restore the town and find out what happened to Lisbeth. Each Grumpus has their own individual issues and good and bad relationships with the others, and each has a series of objectives for you to complete that usually involve locating, capturing, and then feeding them specific Bugsnax, using various traps and gadgets that are unlocked throughout the course of the game. So there you go, that's a little rundown. I thought it needed a fairly lengthy one because it's quite a difficult game to sum up. Yeah.
It is. It surprised me. It's really not the game I was expecting it to be, I have to say.
So what were you? What were you expecting?
I thought it would be fluffy, fun, platformy, jumpy, collecting type thing.
Yeah, it kind of is.
It kind of
for a lot of the time.
It feels very dark.
There is definitely a dark. We'll touch on the end without spoiling it, but it's definitely turns, doesn't it?
Before even talking about the ending or anything, I mean, the first two characters that you manage to entice back to Snacksburg, like the first conversation they have, they end up arguing around a campfire, and one of them literally says to the other one, "This is exactly why your wife left you."
I know, yeah.
And I was like,
"Whoa,
hang on a minute,
whoa,
what's going on here? That's a bit heavy."
Yeah,
and it carries on like that. There's characters having sort of deep existential crises and the pits of depression,
complicated relationships with the others.
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't expect all that.
No,
to be honest.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It is. Yeah, it's a difficult one to make out. Because
I could just imagine a kid picking up to play it with all the bright characters and stuff, and then just being hit with all this sort of body horror,
these big emotional problems. Yeah, yeah, because it really juxtaposes the whole visual style of it. It's very fluffy and cuddly. All these lovely little cute Bugsnax that are basically, I mean, Strabby would be the iconic one. He's like the Pikachu of the Bugsnax, isn't he? He's an upside down strawberry with eyes. Scuttles around, looks very, very cute. And they all even
Bunga, 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 bunga.
oh the bunga bonga 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 bonga.
Bunga.
Yeah, if you haven't played this, you have no idea what we're talking about. Bunga's a little burger, isn't he? Little lovely little burger fella that comes up. They're basically snacks or fruits or any sort of food mixed with any sort of bug or insect to create these lovely little sort of Pokemon style characters. They've got these kind of googly eyes that are a bit like, soft toys eyes,
Did you feel bad feeding the Bugsnax to people? Did you
sort
feel a
of.
touch of conscious?
Sort of, yeah, because they kind of make a little sound that's kind of cut off halfway by the eating sound. I mean, yeah.
It's like Pokemon and, Professor Oak giving you a Squirtle and you just, sticking it in your belly.
yeah, just biting his head off,
really,
Yeah.
Yeah, just...
Yeah, it is a bit like that, yeah. But then if you think about it, Pokemon's quite mean as well, because you're just trapping these creatures, these wild creatures in little balls and forcing them to fight. I mean, it's no better, really, is it?
Well, I suppose, but you're not eating them,
You're not eating them, no. I don't remember a Pokemon game eating any of the Pokemon, no. But anyway, that's what you do in Bugsnax. Yeah, you feed them, and then you can choose which part of their body becomes the snack. So they can give them a strawberry hand, a foot, a nose, that kind of thing. Sometimes there's a point to it, but quite often it does seem a bit, there's not a lot of point to it sometimes.
I was going to say, that would be one thing... I kind of wanted there to be more
me
do
too.
with that kind of thing, because there's one of the missions where one of the Grumpuses doesn't want to go across a hot desert, so you give him
frozen
lolly sticks for legs. Yeah,
frozen things for legs, and that I want to see more of that. Yeah, there's a few like that, but.
Yeah, there's a few bits of it, but a lot of the time, you can give them like a pizza for a nose or something, but it doesn't really do anything.
No, and they end up looking quite weird sometimes.
Yeah, they do. I mean, not everything has to have a point. You can just have it, making a bunch of silly-looking Grumpuses. But it's a really neat mechanic, and I would have loved to have seen some more sort of puzzle elements to do with that kind of thing.
Yeah, there is kind of story-wise, there is kind of a point to it by the end.
Oh yeah,
but I see what you mean. They could have done a little bit more to flesh that out, I suppose. Should we go through some of the characters, like the Grumpuses? Because, in my opinion, these are the stars of the show. I mean, catching the snacks is one thing, but actually, you say it's quite shocking to see some of the emotions and stuff coming from these characters. But it is a key part of the game, and it is what drew me in, actually, and kept me playing, and like seeing how they kind of resolve their issues and stuff.
Yeah,
and they're all brilliantly voice acted, brilliantly well scripted. Did you agree?
Yeah, absolutely, and just well-written characters. Like, they got far more depth than they have any right to have.
Yeah, than you would think to look at them. Yeah, far more depth than any sort of a lot of serious games like with humans in them. It's,
definitely.
It's very impressive. So you got Filbo Fiddlepie, very very optimistic guy. He just wants to bring everyone together and everyone to be happy, but he's kind of a bit clumsy, a bit useless, not a great leader, couldn't keep everyone together, so they all kind of disbanded and left Snaxburg, and he just wants you to go and retrieve them, basically.
Yeah.
There's Wambus Troubleham. These are great names, aren't they? Just absolutely fantastic names. I love them. So he's kind of a stern sort of Southern American style kind of farmer, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he believes you should just grow and eat Bugsnax and, that's it. But he misses his wife, Triffany, who's gone elsewhere on the island. And he's got a cactus of her that he talks to at night. You've got Beffica Winklesnoot, who's sort of... how would you describe it? Like
a town gossip,
Yeah, kind of a not a girly girl, a kind of an OMG kind of girl. She speaks in that internet speak, and she likes digging dirt on all the other Grumpuses. She's quite a nosy person. I think she was like a journalist herself or something, wasn't she? Or something like that.
I think so, something like that. Yeah, because she's got a camera, she's going around taking pictures of people, finding out their secrets.
That's right, she just loves to know things about people.
Yeah.
Gramble Gigglefunny, he likes to raise the Bugsnax, he doesn't believe you should eat them, so he's very sort of sensitive kind of guy, and obviously this leads to a lot of tension with Wambus in particular. So there's that kind of thing to resolve. There's Wiggle Wigglebottom, who's like a celebrity singer and kind of a diva.
That's the only character I didn't like.
Yeah, I didn't warm to her that much. I mean, I kind of get it as an interesting character, like as a kind of a gimmick kind of character. But yeah, she's trying to escape her previous one-hit wonder, Do the Wiggle, by coming up with something more interesting. Triffany Lotterblog is like an archaeologist who's Wambus's wife. You got Cromdo Face, who's like an unscrupulous businessman who just tries to, scam people, that kind of thing. Chandlo Funkbun, who's kind of like a chilled out kind of bodybuilder kind of guy. Should I go through all of them? I mean, because they're...
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, I don't think it's spoilers. I think it's just that, these are... Because, as I say, these are the stars of the show, so I kind of want to put a spotlight on
they're
each
all
of them.
relevant. There's no...
They are, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got Snorpy Fizzlebean, who's an intelligent kind of Grumpus, but he trusts very few people and believes that the Grumpinati are after him, basically.
Yeah, a bit of a tinfoil hat.
Yeah, kind of one. But and he's in love with Chandlo, which is, we've got a couple of comments on it, that the sort of positive kind of reflection of homosexual relationships in this is it's struck a chord with people, isn't it?
Yeah, and rightly so. It's really nice. It's just really good.
Yeah, because we're going to have a comment on it later, but it's kind of represented as, oh, by the way, he loves him and she loves her. It's not like that's their thing. They're gay. It's just it's completely incidental to their characters and their kind of the things that make them interesting.
Yeah.
And you got Floofty Fizzlebean, who's the brother of Snorpy and kind of a biologist. But he's interested in the effects of eating Bugsnax and what they do to you, and whether you become a Bugsnax if you eat too many and that kind of thing. But he's very rude and everyone hates him, basically. And then you got Shelda, who I really liked, because she's like a spiritual kind of Grumpus who's gone to exile herself into the wilderness, into the desert wilderness. And she's kind of all this mystical thing. She doesn't believe you should eat Bugsnax, but she clearly does when no one's looking. And then she'll say something really kind of... She'll use metaphors and she'll say something really mystical. And I love the bit where she says, as a journalist, you get to interview them. Once they come back to Snacksburg, you interview them. And you ask, why did you come to Snacktooth Island? And she says something, I can't remember what she says, something like, that it was like the fates that brought me to it, something mystical like that. And he said, and then she says, I won it in a raffle. Yeah. Like there's these moments where she'll talk all mystical and then she'll talk normally, and it's really, really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you've got Dr. Eggabell Batternugget, who is Lisbert's girlfriend, but she's a real warrior. She battles with depression, low self-esteem, but she's got strong determination to find out what happened to Lisbert. And then Lisbert herself, which is, you meet her at the end, but we'll say no more about it. You see her, well, you do see her at the very beginning in the video. She's quite she's got an Australian kind of accent. She's an explorer. She's very passionate about the Bugsnax.
Well, it's basically Elizabeth and Eggabell they become sort of the driving force of the story, aren't they?
To find out what happened to them.
Find out what happened to them, where they've gone, and
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, these characters, I can't get over how good these characters are. It really, kind of, if I were to compare it to a previous game we've looked at, I would probably pick Ghost Trick. Completely different kind of game. I can see
that, yeah.
But similar to that, the mechanics of that were great, but the thing that really drove me for that was the story and the characters.
It's the story and characters,
and it's exactly the same with this as well. The catching of Bugsnax is almost kind of like a thing you do just to
find out what's happened.
Yeah. I mean, it is interesting in itself, and we'll cover it in a sec. But yeah, so any other thoughts on the characters and the story and things like that?
No, not particularly. Just to reiterate how great they all are, really. And I love the little details, like Philbo. They each of all the Grumpuses, they've got their own little hut on the island.
Yeah.
In Snacksburg, and you can sort of pop in there because they go to sleep at night, and you can go in there, they're lying on the beds and things. So they've got their own little lives that they go about while
Yeah,
you're
sort of-
off doing other things.
Yeah, they've got certain routines and things sometimes, haven't they?
Yeah. But Philbo is the mayor of Snacksburg,
Yes.
and he wears like a little mayor sash that he's made himself,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
But if you go into his house, out the back he's got like a row of mayor sashes
Oh, really?
on the washing line.
Oh, I love that. I never noticed that. That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's just, I love little details like that.
Yeah.
It's just, it's brilliant.
I must admit, I kept getting lost around Snacksburg. I kept trying to... It's quite a small area. There's only, however many characters I just read out there. They've only got one hut each, but I kept getting lost trying to find
Yeah, I did
places.
as well.
Yeah, they still kind of look the same from the outside. But yeah, so you start... Snacksburg is the kind of the centre point, and there's various different areas surrounding it. There's like a Flavor Falls is just like a nice green area. You've got the beach, you've got the sand, you've got the desert, a kind of canyon kind of area, and then you've got mountains and things like that. Lots of different types of Bugsnax in each. And then you've got various tools at your disposal which you'll get as you progress through the game from the different characters and things in order to catch them. There's not that many different ways to catch things, I wouldn't say.
Not
But
really.
sometimes you have to combine them in interesting ways.
Yeah. Sometimes it felt a bit like I was fudging it a bit. Like sometimes,
A little bit,
I
yeah.
felt like I don't know if this how it is. I don't know if this is how I'm supposed to be catching this. I feel like I'm just kind of brute forcing it a little bit. But
Yeah, I mean, there's a physics engine behind it which drives a lot of the catching sometimes. So you've got a basic kind of trap which will catch small Bugsnax if they happen to go in. So you'll wander around, and all the Bugsnax will be usually wandering around in set patterns, won't they? Like a set circle or a set kind of shape that they go around, and you can scan them and you can see that pattern. So you know where to place the trap, and you need to hide yourself, because if they see you, they'll hide in the bush, quite a lot of them, or some of the bigger ones will try to attack you. And then you've got the basic trap. You've got what else have you got? You've got the launch pad, which you can use to send the trap into the air to catch flying ones, for example. You've got the buggy ball, which is quite nice. That's a little strabby that's in a ball that you can direct with like a laser pen.
and you can coat him with different things like sauces.
Yes.
And things.
You've got a slingshot which you can get sauces for, and you can splat sort of anything really. You can splat a Bugsnax, and different Bugsnax will like different types of sauces. So if you want to lure a Bugsnax away from their set area into somewhere else, you can splat your little buggy ball and drive him over near the Bugsnax, and he'll draw him away. So there's interesting things like that. There's like a grapple hook, a trip shot, which will you sort of lay out, and it will kind of
A sort of temporarily,
disrupt.
temporarily like sort of stun whichever Bugsnax walks into it.
Yeah. So there's a lot of them kind of will work with only one of those. Sometimes you need to use a combination of them. But yeah, there's some interesting stuff to do there.
Yeah, and like sometimes like there's sort of an elemental factor to it as well, isn't there? Because some of the Bugsnax will be icy, and they'll freeze up the trap if you try and catch them. So you have to warm them up somehow first, or conversely there'll be ones that are on fire, and if you try and catch them, it'll just set the trap on fire. So you have to try and put the fire out and then catch them. And there's lots of, sort of different layers to it as well.
Well, sometimes you even have to lure them into each other as well, so the fire and the ice cancel each other out, and then you can catch them. You've got ones that are made up of multiple snacks as well, don't you? So you've got the what's it called, the Scoopy Banoopy.
The Scoopy Banoopy, that gave me so much trouble, honestly.
Yeah, it's like a banana split, and it's made up of like a Strabby and a banana, all sorts of different Bugsnax in it.
The other one that gave me trouble was, is it Picantis?
Yeah, praying
the
Picantis.
Praying Picantis.
Yeah. I must admit, I didn't catch all of them because I didn't do all the side quests. Did you all do all the side quests?
I thought I did. I thought I did all the side quests, but I didn't unlock the achievement for it, so I've missed something along the line. So, but in the little diary that you get that tracks your progress, everything's ticked, so I don't know what I've missed.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what's going on there. So, yeah, I can't say that I did all the side quests, but I thought I did.
Yeah. Well, some of the side quests will get you to tackle some of the bigger and tougher Bugsnax, and including there's 4 legendary Bugsnax, isn't there? That are basically the closest thing that this game has to bosses, basically. So that you'll have to take various strategies to kind of break them up a bit and kind of go through them. I only faced one of those, the big long by the beach, the one that.
The
I forgot what it's called now.
Mega Mocky.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a giant sushi creature, like made up of loads of little sushi rolls.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. So that's that really. I mean, it's fun, but if the game were just about that, I think I would probably not have seen it to completion. What do you think? Because it's
probably.
I can't really pick holes in it, but there's just something a little bit limited.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
I can't put my finger on.
Thinking about it, yeah, if it weren't for the characters and how well written they were and how likable they were, I'm not sure what the motivation would be. The basic sort of catching mechanics of the Bugsnax. I don't think there's quite enough there to carry the game on its own.
No.
So yeah, I think I'd share that opinion. I think it's the characters. Again, we've said it's the characters that make it really.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice music, nice kind of synthy, kind of relaxing music. Gives the whole game quite a relaxing vibe. When most of the time you're just sort of having conversations with people and catching Bugsnax. There's no real there's not a lot of peril in the game.
No.
In terms of like deaths and health and stuff. You don't even have a health bar.
No, if you get set on fire, you just wobble about for a bit and then you're okay.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of about discovery. It's about kind of trial and error. There's a relaxed feel to the gameplay and, the level of peril, I think.
Yeah. There's a lot of, quite a bit of trial and error involved in working out how to catch certain Bugsnax. I think, if that... You've got to be prepared to be really stumped on how you get some of them, and it is some of them. Unless you look up a guide, it does feel a bit like you're just trying everything until you stumble upon the right solution.
Yeah, some of the tougher ones.
Some of the tough ones. So I would bear that in mind. If that kind of thing frustrates you, there's no shame in looking up a guide to get some of the more difficult ones.
I did a couple of times, just because I was running out of time and I really wanted to see the ending, and I'm glad I did. Because it does, I don't want to ruin it for anyone, obviously, but it is worth sticking around for, because it will change the way you looked on the game, on the previous events of the game, kind of, won't it?
Yes.
Like the tone differs considerably.
Yeah, it's quite dark.
it's quite dark. It's quite jarring.
Yeah, it is.
Like I wasn't quite sure what to make. I wasn't sure if I liked it or not as a decision to go down.
I gotta say, we can't. Yeah, we always run into this problem. We can't tell you.
I really want to talk about it.
Tell you. But it does recontextualize the whole game, and
it does.
I don't know whether it was intentional or on purpose. Given everything else in the game, I think it's on purpose, but it actually changes the meaning of the theme song as well. There's a particular line in the theme song that makes a lot more sense, and you think, I see.
Yeah.
So
it's the kind of thing that could be intentional, but could just as easily just be a lyric, and just it's like, that could mean that. Yeah. I mean, is there anything else to say about? I mean, I like the interview mechanic, the way that you've got to piece together all these clues from what people tell you as you draw them back to Snaxburg. You kind of interview them as a journalist, and you ask them what brought them to the island, what they know about Lisbeth and where she went, and they'll give you like little hints about, I saw her on the mountain, or I saw her over there, and there was this relationship between this person and this person, and you kind of piece things together, and it kind of keeps a track of it in your little book journal thing. And I quite like that. There's an extra element to the game. There's like a detective kind of element to it. I quite like.
Yeah, it's just a neat way of giving you a bit of filling out the plot without just it makes you feel more involved in it rather than just watching a cutscene and seeing it all play out. You just feel like you feel more like you're discovering it as you go along, which is quite nice.
Yes, because by the time you get to Eggbell, you have to take some of those bits that you learn from other people, some of the things you found, and actually piece them together and go and find other stuff that they've clued you in on. So it was that was quite sort of rewarding.
Yeah, so if you haven't been interviewing people and you haven't been sort of paying attention, you're going to have... Yeah, it's going to make that a bit difficult. I suppose you could, if you were just exploring everything, you could find the bits and pieces just on accident. But
of course you could. It's not a huge. The world is not
that
huge.
Big,
I would say.
No.
No, like there's different areas. I think there's about 7 or 8 maybe different areas, and then they don't go on for miles. You could walk around them without spending too much time doing so.
Did you get the good ending or the bad ending?
Well, I got, because I think there are varying degrees. We're going to struggle to talk about it, but there are varying degrees of ending. I think depending on. I can't talk about it, but I don't know is my answer to that question.
I just know that when I completed it, I got an achievement that the achievement indicated that things could have gone a very different way. I'll put it that way.
Well, I read up on it, and it's not that different. You kind of get the same ending. It's just how the characters reflect upon it is what changes. How that influences what you did in the last few minutes of the gameplay.
Okay.
Basically. So it's not like you didn't get these quests or you didn't do all of these things throughout the whole game. It comes down to what you did at the very end of the game.
Okay. We'll maybe talk about that afterwards, because it's hard to do it without spoiling. But
it really is, yeah. I was wondering for the games like this, maybe we should not do it in a separate episode or anything, because we've talked about this before and we don't want people to accidentally hear it, but maybe just release a little download clip on Twitter and stuff. That's just like the after discussion about it, whereas it's for people who have played the game.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah, so we'll talk a little bit after the show, and we'll put it out there just as a little 10-minute thing, So yeah, I mean, unless there's anything else you want to say about it, I think we've covered it quite well there.
No, I think we covered it. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't the game, like I say, it surprised me in a good way.
Me too. Yeah.
I was expecting to enjoy it, because I loved the trailer when it came out. I thought it looked like it was going to be great fun. It looked quirky and interesting. I expected to enjoy it, but it was a completely different game to what I expected. But I loved it. So I
me too. I was, as I said already, I was really drawn in by the characters in particular. I'd kind of read or saw a video review of it, so I knew that there was a certain amount of depth and likability to the characters. But I was surprised by how much that resonated with me, definitely, and and how much I wanted to know what's going to happen. So it's one of those games where the story and the characters really kind of impact you. It's not just like kind of generic characters that don't have anything interesting to say, and like so many games have. This is really well written, well voiced stuff. So it's that drives the game for me. The Bugsnax themselves and the catching mechanics were fun, but as I said before, it wasn't that I ended up loving in the end. That was just kind of a thing that happens in the game and draws it all together. But it's very good.
I haven't been
really
on
good.
the Young Horses website, but if they don't sell a Gramble Giggle Funny Strabby hat in their merch store, they're missing a trick. Because I'd buy one for every day of the week.
Yeah, and well, I mean, the market for like little plushies of the Bugsnax as well. I mean,
imagine with detachable arms, and you could put on different.
Yeah. Oh, what the Grumpuses, like the you could put little different things. That's a great idea.
Like a Mr. Potato Head, but a Grumpus, and you can put on like different, put like a carrot on the nose and the melon on the other.
Yeah.
Oh, contact us, guys.
Well, if they haven't made this game with sort of licensing in mind, then they certainly. That's certainly a happy coincidence that it lends itself very well to like products and things. Doesn't it?
It really does. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, get working on it.
Yeah. So we've got a couple of comments, as I alluded to earlier, from our friend Dominoid. Great game that gets so much right. for me, I especially like that there's LGBT representation, and it's not the only thing that the characters concerned are about, i.e. they have defined character traits that aren't just I'm the gay one in it, which is what I meant. I basically nicked his comment earlier, but it's very true. It's a good representation of that. Yeah. And Adam Hurd at Hurd Annoys. If you want opinions, come here. I was the hype train for Bugsnax, and let me tell you, it met the hype for me at least. Fantastic game, maybe my game of the year last year. So thanks very much, guys. That's great for you to get in touch. Completely agree. Brilliant.
I did have a bit of a problem with Eggabell. Just because I kept forgetting her name. In my head, I just kept calling her Egbert. Which was he was the little egg on Button Moon. Did you ever watch Button Moon?
No.
He's a little funny creature on Button Moon.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. Fair enough.
You never watched Button Moon?
No, I don't think so. I know of it. I've heard the name, and I know the theme tune.
Yeah,
I know the theme tune, but I must have seen it, but I can't remember. Is that the kind of show that was before our time, but happened to just be replayed while we were kids, or was it?
Oh no, I think that was. I think we were prime Button Moon material. Yeah.
What was it? What was it about?
It was just like
we're going on a tangent, but
they were like all made of bean tins and stuff, and like some of them were spoons, and they just knocked about on a planet, and sometimes they go off to the moon, which was Button Moon, and they'd climb in like a washing up bottle and then blast off, and Egbert was there, and it's very strange. Very strange.
Yeah, I've no recollection of watching that.
It's well overdue a gritty reboot, I think.
Yeah, a gritty reboot. Yeah.
A gritty DC Universe style reboot of Button Moon.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough. So next month, what are we playing?
You have Xbox or PS3? Remind me.
Xbox 360.
Okay, cool. We're going to be playing. It's going to be an adults only edition.
Okay.
As I've checked with you, it's going to just a content warning. It's a game that features innuendos, gore, violence, bad language.
Oh my!
It's a spicy one.
Yeah.
We're going to be playing Lollipop Chainsaw.
Okay, I've never heard of this game until the other day, where I heard of it. Weirdly. But I can't remember the context of what I heard. I just remember someone either on Twitter or maybe I read something somewhere mentioning Lollipop Chainsaw, and I remember thinking it sounded. Oh, well, that sounds interesting, but I can't remember anything about it whatsoever other than its name.
Okay,
so,
good.
Please.
I won't tell you too much about it.
Okay.
But basically, you are a cheerleader, and you are born into a family of zombie hunters. Zombies invade the town, so you've got to take your trusty chainsaw and dance around to various lovely music, chopping up zombies.
Okay.
There's a bit more to it than that. Some really sort of inventive boss battles, and it's got a humour's subjective, but I think it's a very funny game.
Okay.
So I think we'll have fun with it.
All right, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I'll because when you said it's going to be kind of, what you just described, that adult and bloody and gory, I thought, oh, what the hell has he picked here? It sounds very un-podemup-y, but that the way that I see from what you described there, I see what you've been going for.
Yeah, just to give you a little sampling taste, there's a stage in the game where you're running over a field of zombies in a combine harvester to the theme tune of You Spin Me Right Round by Dead or Alive. You spin me right round, baby.
I thought you were going to say I've got a brand new combine harvester by the words.
That would be perfect. No, but it's absolutely bonkers, and I love it. So I think there should be enough there for us to talk about. Whether you love it or hate it. There should be enough to give us some good talking materials.
Excellent. Okay, I'll look forward to that.
Cool.
So you can catch us on Twitter at podemup. You can email us podemup@gmail.com, and podemup.live is our little website, and twitch.tv/podemup.
Yeah.
Is the Twitch one, which I haven't streamed much in a while, but I won't be able to stream this actually, but I'll stream some in at some point.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, one day I'll do a bit of Astro Bot rescue mission.
Yeah, you keep teasing this almost every month. Yeah, please do.
It won't be worth the wait.
Yeah.
But,
so I've been Ollie Poddle Flip, and you've been Tibbs
Ticklebean.
Ticklebean, brilliant. And you've been listening to Podemup. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Kinda bargain, kinda snack. Try to catch him in your trap. Feeds the body and you'll see we are whatever we eat. Find him hiding in the sand, tearing up a ketchup patch. Come to Snack-Tooth Island and discover it's Bugsnax. I heard that somewhere far off in the ocean there lies an island where the creatures roam. A famed explorer tells me they're delicious, and yet they're hitherto unknown. You might think it sounds impossible till you've seen a carrot crawl. Kinda bargain, kinda snack. Try to catch him in your trap. Feeds the body and you'll see we are whatever we eat. Find him hiding in the sand, tearing up a ketchup patch. Come to Snack-Tooth Island and discover it's Bugsnax. It's Bugsnax. Talking about Bugsnax. It's Bugsnax.
I got me heavenly sword.
And if the rumor's not complete baloney, then it's the story of the century. So grab a journal, listen up, and make some new friends to solve the mystery. An expedition, 13 strong of Grumpuses, who all set off, seeking out a better life on Snack-Tooth Island. They did find a tasty quest to fill the hole that many feel inside their soul. Venture deep to reach the truth, and maybe you'll learn something too. You might think it sounds impossible till you've seen a sandwich climb a wall. Kinda bargain, kinda snack. Try to catch him in your trap. Feed somebody and you'll see we are whatever we eat. Find him hiding in the sand, tearing up a ketchup patch. Come to Snack-Tooth Island and discover it's Bugsnax. It's Bugsnax.
Talk about Bugsnax.